What's up? What's up? What's up, my people? We are back for episode 2 of All Things NBA, the live version. We are preparing, recapping, prepping the playoffs. The NBA playoffs are here, guys. We're excited. I have my man, Chris Persianen, Zach Noble, and myself, Albert Wynn. We are doing this every Thursday, courtesy of our amazing partners at Ball is Life and Beat the Book. For those who've never been to Beat the Book, Chris, enlighten them.
All right. I feel like this is genuinely one of those opportunities where podcasters get to promote a product that they actually use. And so that's what makes this really special to me. Beat the Book is an app where you turn your betting and sports betting part of yourself and your Twitter, your NBA Twitter, your basketball loving part of yourself into the same person. The app is super simple. Like you can just see people posting their slips or posting their bets. You can ride or fade the bets. Now, if you follow the All Things NBA Beat the Book page, you want to be riding the bets. Why? Because on the final day of NBA action, we went 6-0, baby. Bulls spread, Magic spread, Pacers spread -14. We hit Spurs, Pistons over 214 and a parlay, Lakers and Suns. That smacked. We give out baseball picks sometimes. Alpha Dog, our guy coming on the show, we'll talk about that. Rangers +110. They beat down on the Astros. And then NBA play-in action. We're 2-1 so far on play-in games. Pelicans, Kings, Bulls. We are all over it. And y'all, it's been an amazing experience with Beat the Book because we cannot stop winning. So if you want to go follow us on Beat the Book at All Things NBA, check it out. Check out the app. Honestly, like this is an app where you are just not able to have that buddy that's always like, oh, I was going to take that pick and I didn't, but I told you guys to take it. Or, you hit on a bet and he tells you after, oh, I had 5 units on that. I just didn't tell you. I didn't want to jinx it. It's all out in the open, right? You can see what your friends are betting. You can see what pro cappers are betting. And you can also find out about best bets from people like us, the All Things NBA pod. I'm going to be beat reporting the NBA playoffs this year. Zach has been podcasting about the NBA for about half as long as I've been alive. And Albert, professional capper. Like, this is the trio you want to be backing here in the playoffs. And Beat the Book is where you can do it. You get all of our picks for free. That's insane. And pretty soon, it's not going to be free anymore. We're going to be charging for these picks. Of course, Beat the Book sponsoring us is going to make it something like $1 for you guys to get these picks. But get in now while it's free. Download the Beat the Book app.
KP, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Zach, tease the listeners all the guests that we have lined up in the next few weeks.
Let's see. Alpha Capper, maybe a couple other your friends. We have at least one player that should be coming on. Not going to disclose any names there. Couple ESPN talking heads. Definitely got one lined up. So next week on that. So be prepared. It's coming.
Beautiful. All right, guys. So for those, again, just jumping on for the first time, missed last week's show, jumping on tonight for the first time. We're doing this every Thursday for the entire duration of the NBA playoffs. We're going to recap the games. We're going to talk about different betting spots from player props to series bets to, game by game, sides, totals, all of it. So definitely check us out. This is brought to you by our awesome partners at Beat the Book and Ball is Life. All right, let's just go ahead and jump into it, guys. So we had a couple playing games already. Chris, what are your thoughts with what you saw? We saw some injuries. We saw Zion go down. We saw Jimmy Butler go down. But ultimately, how did you feel?
I mean, listen, the play-in has been a blessing. Shout out Adam Silver. The rush that you get from these one-off games to determine playoff opponents is like no other. How about Philly 105, Miami 104 to get the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference? That's everything to us as basketball fans. And if you follow us on Beat the Book, you knew to take the Miami Heat to win the first half and the Philadelphia 76ers to win the game. You knew to take the Bulls to be winning at halftime and to win the game. If you parlayed all of those together, plus 884. Free, handed out, winner. I got nothing else, man. And when you look at Atlanta, of course, tough with the injury. Chicago kind of feels built for the play-in. They've got the
Hey,
talent.
they play tough, man.
They've
Built
got
for
the
the
talent.
play, and imagine that.
Hey, man, everyone said that was going to be the most exciting team in basketball, and I hated that, and I said they were going to stink. But now that they're actually fun, I've come around on this Bulls team. They're a lot of fun, and they're not going to make it in a playoff series against a team like the Celtics, but in a one-off game against the Hawks, there's a reason we gave out a 2-unit play on the Bulls spread. We knew that game was not going to be very close. 131-116, Bulls over Hawks. No defense played in that one, and also, we gave out the Kings +3, and the Warriors lose by about 30 points.
All right, so let me cut you off there, Chris. So I miss the show where you guys were praising the Warriors. This is Steph Curry's team. They have one final run. Zach, let me hear you talk about the end of
I
the
did hit the
dynasty
Kings.
that we
I hit the
see in
Kings,
Golden
though. I
State.
followed you.
Yeah. I love the Kings.
over,
They were
baby.
just 1 year
It's
behind,
over.
right? We were both on the Kings last year. They trounced the Warriors this year. But how do you feel about the Warriors? Like, do they need to blow it up? What's your thoughts on
Yeah,
that,
they're
Zach?
toast. I mean, get rid of them. I think Clay and Draymond, something needs to give there for sure. I don't know. Jason yesterday was just like, if you can get Clay at 18-20 on a discount, to me, I just think it's a confidence thing. It's an energy thing from Steph mainly. I gotta get rid of one of them. I don't care the price tag. I mean, sure, if you can get him down to 15, 20, I do think he's gonna get 25 somewhere. But yeah, I mean, Draymond, get rid of him regardless of the price. That's my take. I mean, Clay can still hit some shots. I mean, it seems like he's willing to come off the bench. I mean, that price tag is a little more appealing. You gotta dive into Kuminga and put pods, and there's no trades other than Kuminga available on that team. So you got to go out and sign somebody, draft or trade. They're in a tough situation. It's always tough to break up a dynasty like that. I mean, look at the Chicago Bulls right now. They don't want to get rid of any of those legends. But yeah, it's sad. It's over. But it's a new wave. We got Adam Silver's parody. It's 7 straight years of a new number 1 seed in the West. It's a great time to be an NBA fan.
There. 7 straight years with a new champion, new regular season champion out west. Guys, we have 1,400, almost 1,500 people in the live right now. Thank you so much for everybody's support. We're going to go straight into the games here. We have 2 big games tomorrow night. First is the Bulls Heat, and then we have the Kings Pelicans. There's obviously a damper, Chris, with the injuries, right? Heat without Jimmy Butler. But how do you feel in that game against the Bulls? The Bulls are only a 1.5 underdogs right now. How would you read that?
Okay, so for me, the Miami Heat, I mean, everyone knows Bill Simmons' Ewing theory. I don't believe in it, but the Miami Heat are the rare team where having the best player out may not spell the end of their hopes of winning a basketball game. They have a strong infrastructure, and if they get Terry Rozier back in time for this game, they're looking at players with the ability to score, the ability to defend, you name it, right? But here's the thing. Terry Rozier was ruled out today for Friday's game against the Chicago Bulls.
That means nothing, though, in the NBA. The injury reports.
Teams are getting fined now.
Embiid was out. Embiid was out. And
Look
he
at
ended up
Kawhi and
playing 35
Giannis
minutes.
right now.
And they got fined so much money
They
for
did.
that.
They
And
did.
They
won the game.
The Knicks got fined money. I mean, listen, I think Terry Rozier is not going to play. I love DeLon Ray. I love Tyler Hero. I love Bam Adebayo as guys that can be stars in their roles. But I'm not seeing a star that's a lead scorer. The Chicago Bulls, the emergence of Kobe White. Now, I think Zach could have a career high in NBA points against the Atlanta Hawks defense. But that said, I'm gonna go with Chicago for this game because they're rolling in all the right ways right now. And you take a look at this group. I mean, as a New York Knicks credentialed beat reporter, I can tell you the last game, I call it the last day of school. Even the best behaved kids don't give a damn and they act out and they don't behave on the last day of school. The Chicago Bulls were locked into the 9 seed no matter what, and they waltzed into Madison Square Garden and took the Knicks to overtime. The Knicks had to fight in overtime to get the 2nd seed that they were looking for. This is a Bulls group that competes for the hell of it because they can, because they need to. And that is why I think Billy Donovan is still a great head coach. And without Zach LaVine,
Great. Whoa.
I don't see the guy on this team who's a black hole. Now, Alex Caruso may be playing, maybe not, probably not playing. Maybe we'll give it a go.
They need Caruso.
Regardless,
Zach,
the Heat are missing so many guys.
Yeah, so Zach, before I get your thoughts, I'm sure people want to hear my side in terms of how to bet this game. For those who don't know, short home favorites are terrible in the playoffs. That is across all sports, hockey, football, basketball, baseball. You don't want to take the minus 115, minus 120 money line at home. Those are sucker bets. I'm not saying the Heat is a sucker bet in this. There is value because Jimmy Butler is out, but the Bulls are riding high. They have the vibes, and they just play harder right now. Honestly, if I wanted it's not going to be a 7-game, first round series against Boston, against any of these teams. But I think Boston, if they want to be challenged, they want to play against an inferior team talent wise, but tries hard, right? They're going to give out full effort, and that's Chicago. Without Zach LaVine in the lineup, this team has tried really hard with Kobe White, Ayo, even DeMar is playing some defense now. So I like this team. I like the Bulls tomorrow night at +1.5. And if I like a short dog like that, I'm most likely going to be on the money line as well. Zach, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I echo that. I mean, their morale is down with Jimmy out. I mean, that's their leader. I mean, Tyler Hero was empowered by him in the second half. I mean, maybe it carries over a little bit. He knows he's got to be that guy, but I see this being a blowout in Chicago. Chicago's favor. I definitely take the under as well. I like that in a game like this. But man, I don't see any way Miami pulls this out. I mean, Bam would need at least 20, 23 maybe.
Against Vucevic, he can make that happen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he can make it happen against Vucevic. My question is, does that 42 count for Kobe White's playoffs careers, or is it like the play-in where the early season tournament where those stats don't even count?
Doesn't count.
That sucks.
These stats do not count.
One of
LeBron
4 Bulls ever 60. To have 70%.
Yeah, LeBron could have scored 60, points. And that would not have been part of his legacy. We got a lot of live comments in the chat here. Chalmers Sports Cards with Hal. Titus Lamb, he says he needs some Mavs talk. We'll get there. But before we do that, Chris, show us the beautiful app that is Beat the Book.
Too easy. So we're going to log this Chicago pick right now, right, y'all? Here's how you do it. Here's the Beat the Book homepage. Create a post right here on the bottom. All right. So you go in and bam, there are all of your, no pun intended, bam out of bio. Here are all your best NBA lines. So you can see it's -1.5 for the Heat, but +2 for the Bulls. This is because Beat the Book goes and takes the best line that's out there. We're going to go ahead and click on that Chicago +2, and we're going to hit the 1 at the bottom. That's how you log a bet. We're going to risk 1 unit. Should we bump it to 2?
Keep it 1. Keep it 1.
Keep it. No, we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. 1 unit bet, and you see it's always updating the odds. Always. We're going to go ahead and track that bet on Beat the Book. Bam. It is now logged on our page, and you can go to the All Things NBA page on Beat the Book and see that Bulls +2 pick right in there, along with, what's that? Oh, all of our winners. We are 8-1 on the NBA at All Things NBA.
Yep. Our account is at All Things NBA. Okay, so let's get into the second game, Chris. So the West, right? The Kings, they pretty much ended the Warriors dynasty. I'm sorry if I'm smiling and laughing. It is what it is. And the Pelicans without Zion. I thought Zion, if they had Zion late in that game, it didn't look like the Lakers wanted to win, because the winner, their prize, was the Denver Nuggets. So it looked like the Lakers were trying to give that game away. Zion getting down hurt late was such bad luck for them. But how do you see that game going tomorrow night, Chris?
I mean, listen, man, this is so tough when you take a look at this game, because you know what happened the last time the Pelicans without Zion played the Kings? Do Do you
I don't
remember what
recall.
happened? All right. Well, let me tell you right now what happened the last time the Pelicans did not have Zion Williamson and they played the Sacramento Kings. With 9 minutes and 34 seconds to go, it was Pelicans 112, Kings 62. That is a team that even without Zion knows how to roll over the Sacramento Kings. But that being said, to take the Lakers, such a force of a team, the big market, the big stars, to take them right down to the wire and then have the guy who had 40 points and 11 rebounds in his playoff environment debut go down and out for the rest of the play-in, that's soul crushing. That is morale crushing. And so if you ask me, the Sacramento Kings are a team that runs 3 to 4 actions per play. They play high tempo, high octane, fast, smart, low turnover basketball. That's built for a playoff environment. If it's me, I'm not fading this team. I'm not letting them go. Maybe in that first round matchup, you have to be a little wary. But for right now, against a Zionless Pelicans team that seems to have all the air taken out of them.
Yeah.
And then let's throw it to the coaching matchup. Willie Green is someone who has made some questionable decisions. Let's not talk about benching BI in the clutch because we've had people agree and disagree with that. We just had Jason Timp from the Volume Sports, Colin Coward and all them on the show. And he said he liked the decision to bench BI. I didn't. Let's say those cancel each other out. Let's pretend for a second I'm as smart as Jason. When you go ahead and look at the rest of the season's worth of decisions from Willie Green, he's a coach who rides his own stubbornness before he rides his talent.
Jose Alvarado was balling, though. He was balling.
He was balling, but let me tell you about Larry Nance, someone who Willie Green insists on going small with. He plays small ball lineups with 3 shooters.
Yeah.
Tell me how the hell that's supposed to work. Mike Brown is going to coach circles around this guy, and Fox and Sabonis, well, they've got a little buddy named Keegan Murray who showed you in that play-in game that team is not a 2-man show. They are not a 2-trick pony.
Yeah,
they have a wing.
Zach, the Kings are missing Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk, right? So they are missing 2 of their top players. But I echo what Chris was saying. Like, the New Orleans Pelicans offense looked completely lost without Zion those last few minutes. What are your thoughts on this game? Another short line, Kings minus 1.5.
So I think this game is a lot closer than the East one. I think Jimmy Butler is a huge miss, where Zion, they've played without him plenty, even though not that much this year. I personally think they got to get into the Jordan Hawkins well. I think they're going to need a scoring punch to keep up with the Kings. They can play at a pretty fast pace, but their defense is going to just need to be off the charts, and it has been most of the year. The Pelicans rely on their defense, so that's one thing with Zion. I mean, they can play some stronger defenders, and BI can't go 4 for 12 again, and he's got to put up at least 25, I think, in this one. Him or CJ is going to need to go off. I don't think Willie Green's going to go to Jordan Hawkins, but if they're not shooting the ball like the top 5 3-point shooting team they've been all year, they got to go deep. They got to try something out because the Kings are just going to keep hitting you. They have no defense, and that's why I don't think they stand any chance in the first round. And that's why I think they're really beatable. But that offense is still potent with or without Huerter and Monk. And it's a fast pace. And so I think the defense of the Pelicans will keep them alive. I haven't trusted him lately. It's on him. Trey Murphy could go off for 30 plus. So somebody's going to need to have a big game and keep him close in the clutch.
All right. So 5 seconds, Chris. Are you going to be on the Kings or Pelicans?
I'm going with the Sacramento Kings. They've got the best player in the game and the best coach.
Zach, Kings?
When you say best player, you go Fox or Sabonis?
De'Aaron Fox, baby.
All right, I agree, but it was close. Sabonis has been pretty incredible this year. I'm going Sacramento.
Lock it in, Chris. Lock it in the app.
Yeah, I'm on Sacramento. We'll be 2-0 again, but it won't be easy for him. It won't be easy.
All right. So while Chris is doing that, Zach, I'm going to ask you a question. I don't know if you've been able to see some of these series odds that have come out in the first round. Cavs minus 195 against the Magic. The Mavericks minus 125 favored over the Clippers. Suns minus 130 over the T-Wolves. Knicks and Sixers dead heat at minus 110. It's a pick 'em there. Nuggets big favorites over the Lakers 3-1. And the Pacers finally are minus 120 against the Bucks. Hearing those odds for the first time, like how do you react? What's your favorite look there?
Immediately I rush to, like, if you want value, it's the Lakers. An injury could happen. Injuries happen, but also they have the talent. They have the talent. I just don't think
They're good, man.
they put it together for 7 straight games enough to beat the Nuggets, but the value from a betting line, sprinkle a little on that. Why not if you want to get crazy? But you could always do like 4-2 in a series. Those are probably decent odds too, I bet. Probably around
over,
plus,
over 5.5 games.
something
or
like
Lakers
that.
plus 2.5 games. Yeah, those are some great looks here. I'll go next, and then Chris,
Real
you'll
quick,
finish it out.
This has got to be the first year in like a long ass time that all these underdogs
All close.
are
Yeah, it's all
favorites.
close. Yeah, it's all close. That is a very big tell when you're looking at sportsbook. If the lower ranked team is favored,
It's insane.
i.e. Pacers, i.e. Mavericks, they're favored against a team
Suns,
that's ranked
Sixers.
higher. So I'm gonna give you guys my favorite series bet. It's not a homer pick, guys, but it's a trilogy between the Clippers and the Mavericks.
Round
The
3,
Clippers-
baby. Round 3. And the Clippers are
knocked
2-0.
them out. Yeah, the Clippers knocked them out in 2020 and again in 2021. Luka had great series, just no help. He has help this year, guys, and it's more than just Kyrie Irving.
So it
Kyrie
is a
Irving had
homer pick. Here we go.
Kyrie Irving had a great year. Quietly had a 50, 40, 90 year. People don't even know that, averaging 25 points. That is impressive for a 6'1" guard to be that efficient. So Luka has that scoring punch next to him. But I think the biggest help he's gotten was at the trade deadline with 2 great defensive pieces,
Yes, sir.
Daniel Gafford, and who knew PJ Washington is stepping up as the best perimeter defense, playing that Dorian Finney-Smith role from 2 years ago. So my favorite series pick today is going to be the Dallas Mavericks to beat the Los Angeles Clippers minus 125. I think it ends in 6. So Dallas in 6 is my pick. Chris, what's your favorite series bet?
All right. My favorite series bet is one that I think might be, just might be, a little bit contentious. And I might have to move my backdrop here to not seem like a homer pick. But
Jesus, guys.
I'm going with the sharps here. So when the line opened, when the New York Knicks and Philadelphia 76ers series was decided, right? The Sixers were minus 125 and the Knicks were plus 110. Those lines moved and moved and moved ever so slightly. It became Sixers minus 110, Knicks plus 100. Then it became both teams minus 110 because people keep betting this Knicks line, and the Sixers move and move and move towards being underdogs. They won't be the underdogs because Joel Embiid won't be an underdog. But to me, I think the sharps are who moved this line. They came in with the big money. The big money bettors came in and moved the Knicks line. The Knicks minus 110 against the 76ers. And in short, here's why. First of all, the two teams, yeah, it's the 2 and the 7 seed, but let's be real. The Knicks won 50 regular season games, and the 76ers won 47 regular season games. 3 games separate the 2 and the 7 seed in the Eastern Conference. They're packed like a can of sardines over there out east. And for me, the home court advantage is everything. So the Knicks, they're hosting game 5. They're hosting game 7. These are big swing games, and Madison Square Garden, typically in the NBA, home teams get 3 points. I'd give 3.5 or 4 for playing at home at Madison Square Garden. Did y'all hear the boos when the Sixers were down at halftime in Philadelphia? That is not MSG. MSG, the roof, that gorgeous roof, will crumble to the ground every time Bojan Bogdanovic hits a big 3 in the fourth quarter. Every time OG Anunoby gets a steal and a slam in the second half. And so that's the first aspect. The vibes, the momentum, it's all the Knicks way. The other side of this is the unique challenge these two teams present each other. Obviously, a lot of people are going to say, oh, do the UConn strategy against Zach Edey. Let Embiid go one-on-one inside and lock up the perimeter. When Embiid got hurt, he came back and went 12 of 12 from the free throw line in his first game. That guy makes his bank at that 15-foot charity stripe, and it's not a viable strategy for the Knicks. They should not put Anunoby on Maxey, and I don't think they will. They're going to have Anunoby playing a little bit of football, playing free safety out there, and he will double team Embiid. He will double team Maxey. He will be the help on these guys because Oubre and Harris are not the stars of that team. So because the Knicks are so strong defensively, that plays a factor as well. And factor number 3 for me, all right, the New York Knicks are a pretty slow playing team, right? They take 25% of their shots in the last 6 seconds of the shot clock in the 2024 season. But you know who's even slower than that? The Philadelphia 76ers take 31% of their shots in the last 6 seconds of the shot clock. And for that reason, I think the Knicks are going to be able to push the tempo a little bit. Brunson, feisty, small guard, can push the pace. And if they can get Embiid going in pick and rolls, he's not 100%. He took until the second half to kick into gear against the Heat. I think they can really hurt him in PNR.
Yeah, so a couple of reactions here, and then Zach, I would love to hear from you. First, the sharp side, right? In terms of professional money, Chris hit it right on the nose. It opened up as basically more slightly towards the Sixers, and then it's slowly going to the Knicks. I will err on the side of caution. There's gonna always be more money going to the Knicks, the Lakers, the Cowboys, the Yankees. It's just public money going on that side, but you can definitely decipher public versus professional money here, and the sharps are on New York. My comment on the actual series is if you take out the top 4 players, so if you take out Embiid and Maxey on Philly, and you take out Brunson, and I would say OG, right, on the Knicks, right? Those are the top 4. I think 3, the next level, they're all Knicks. They're all Knicks. Boyan, Mitchell Robinson, Hartenstein, Josh Hart. I think they're all Knicks. They're deeper, even without Julius Randle, than Philly. And in a physical, drag it out, slow series like this is going to be, depth is going to be really, really important. And I think that's, and New York's going to have Game 7 at home, right? So they're always going to have that in their pocket. I like this pick a lot, Chris. Good luck. Zach, what are your thoughts?
All depends if Embiid gets better as the series goes. I think it's such a tough call because, I think he looked about 85-90% in that last game. And he was good enough for them to win this series if everybody else is really good. If you get Nick Batum 2 to 3 games like he did this last one, but it was literally his best game all season, so you can't bank on that. And then DeAnthony Melton's coming back from a defensive standpoint and a knockdown shooter. Philly's got the talent. Philly's peak has been better, I'd say, without Julius Randle versus the Knicks. I'm still torn if Embiid can get to 95%, how the Knicks are slowing him down. I feel like pace-wise, that was the best comment that Chris made, is I think the Knicks could speed this thing up and get Embiid in the PNR. So I don't know. I'm 50-50 on this series. It's the hardest one for me to pick. I lean towards believing Embiid's going to get a little better. I think a couple days rest is going to do him some good here. I'm going
for
Philly.
Sure.
I'm picking Philly in 7.
I like that. I like that.
I like it. I would say one
Not
thing
that
about
confident in
Embiid is when he's right, he's the best player on the floor, right? He's the reigning MVP
in the NBA. Forget this series.
He's the reigning MVP. But a guy like Embiid is just not going to get better as the series goes on. He's in his best physical health shape today, right now. And I think as the series goes on and guys like Mitch Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein beat up on him, he's only going to get worse. So I don't know if I can buy him getting better, but I can buy Philly winning in 7 just because the Tyrese Maxey factor is real. If OG is not going to start on him and he goes off, you better believe Coach Thibs is going to put OG back on him, right? So go ahead, Zach.
And we've seen everybody on Philly, like Maxi's been great in the playoffs. Like last year, he had some banging games. Batum's been in the playoffs many a times. It comes down to Buddy Hield, honestly. For like, I'm having Tobias come off the bench. I'm trusting.
Would you take Buddy or Boyan right now?
Oh, that's tough. I lean Boyan just because of defense. But I think Buddy's going to be better. I think Buddy's going to be better in this series.
Whoa. You're saying a 34-year-old Herzegovinian man is because of defense? Buddy Hield's the better player, and Boyan's not the better defender. Buddy Hield
he's definitely a better. Boyan's definitely the better defender than Buddy. Buddy can't guard.
You know how to set a screen? I'll put you in pick and roll, and we'll score on Boyan right now. You come set a screen for me. You'll score and pick and roll on Boyan.
He's been much better in the past. I mean, okay, but compared to Buddy Hield, that's the question. But I do want to say it's all going to be how stubborn Nick Nurse is going to be with Tobias Harris. It's going to come down to that. I truly believe it because Kelly Oubre, I'd give him all of the minutes. Dust off Ricky Council over Tobias. He's been ass, man. He's been like,
you saw the three straight layups yesterday. Looked like Al out there.
Oh, he's terrible. What's the stat that he's averaged 6 points per game in so many games?
Tobias, it's just not him. We all know that already, right? We know, but
they got Oubre on a minimum when he should be making 11 million. True. So that counts. That cancels out. I almost said councils out.
Is DeAnthony Melton playing? Is he 100%?
He was out for the other game because his back spasms are still going.
I'm telling you, Philly is not deep right now. They're
not. They're not.
Yeah.
Bro,
hurting.
Paul Reed and Kyle Lowry are like playing huge roles for them right now. That is where they're at as a team.
All right, Chris, before you end us, Chelmer Sports Cars with some shots against Zach. He said you can't shoot, Zach. Did he see your jump shot or what?
Yeah, it's a long time friend, but no, my jumper's the best it's ever been. I think I went 5 for 7, 5 for 8.
I was going to say, what are you up to? Oh, you're up to 20% from 3?
Nah, dude, you put me.
All right.
Put me anywhere right now. I'm shooting at least 37%. Depends on the competition.
Let's recap the 2 game picks we gave out tonight. I'm going to show you guys on the Beat the Book app. Again, our sponsor for these episodes. And the reason we're so comfortable promoting them is because we actually use the app. Like, I'm not someone who's going to promote you a Google phone and then turn and text on my iPhone. Like, that's not how I work. But with Beat the Book, this app is actually good. So I'm actually telling y'all to go download it. Go get it. It's free, right? Just go get it. Throw in your phone number, make an account in 2 seconds. That's how you can easily tail or fade our picks. Here are the 2 picks we gave out on tonight's show. Bulls +2, 1 unit. Kings money line, 1 unit. It's just too easy because it's such a good app. You get to fade or tail or your friends. You get to log your own picks. And look, let me show y'all my analytics, right? You can go in and get a detailed look. So in the last month, we're 1-0 on MLB picks. We're 1-0 on parlays, and we're 6-2 on NBA bets. In the last 9 NBA bets that we've made, we are 8-1. That's just ridiculous. So for y'all, you got to come tail us on Beat the Book, especially before these picks are no longer free. We are up 7 units with the 10 free picks we've given out. It's just too easy out here. And again, like I said, the picks we gave out, Kings, Bulls +2. We can't always guarantee we're going to hit at this rate, but what we can do is bring you guys top tier analysis. That's why we do these shows every week, Thursday night. We got guests coming up, so stay tuned. If you know some of the best cappers out there on Twitter, they will be appearing on the show. If you watch ESPN, people you see on there will be appearing on the show, and we're looking to have some NBA players on the show soon as well. We just had Adam Mares from Denver Sports on the show. We just had Jason Timp from The Volume on the show, so go check us out on YouTube. All things NBA from A to Z presented right there in that corner by Ball is Life. And these live shows, these live editions of All Things NBA presented by our guys at Beat the Book in that corner right there. Go get the app. Go make an account. It is 100% free to get our winning picks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's live edition of All Things NBA from A to Z. Much love, much respect to y'all. Have a great one, and we'll see you next week to talk about the cash coming in. Peace out.